Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Thursday, number 24 day for this number 11 month for the year 2022. My name na Capo Daniel. I am the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and the spokesperson of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Pass King, una own countryman. Una welcome to our daily podcast, a program where we speak the truth, we bring una meaningful information for help we as we work for this road to our freedom, the independence of Ambazonia. Fellow good people of Ambazonia, we start today with news wey e come out for the Atlantic state as La République du Cameroon, their terrorist Colonial deal. It try for meddle and for replace family them where they don't be traditionally leaders them for our communities. This one it happen for Koba Bakundu and for Weme Bakundu, two district them for inside the great state of Meme. La République du Cameroon, their colonial terrorist deal we name na Moses Ndip. It don't catch chief maker them, king maker them for inside Bakundu. 10 of them go lock 'em. Before the one release them pay ransom ranging from 25,000 to over 100,000, simply because he want impose their own colonial chiefs them for over these villages. As long as history be recorded for inside Koba Bakundu and for Weme Bakundu, now only the same 5 monarch that rule where them come out for the Bisamia family where them be in touch with their roots, our local Ambazonian citizens them. For inside Bakundu, these villages, now the one them way the kingmaker then supposed to choose their next chief them for inside. But as La République, they want impose their own colonial individual them as they don't transform chieftaincy as a tool for colonialism. They don't catch kingmaker them, they put them pressure, say they must choose now the one way come out of the royal family. The imposition of La République du Cameroon chiefs around Ambazonia, it don't be one of the issue where they make our palace and be dysfunctional, impostor them, where they don't put them, where they don't get in touch with their ancestors them. It don't be a big problem with people the way they suffer for many villages, the way they don't know place the problem they may come out, simply because a tool will be very important for our tradition, our laws, and the units of the villages in our country. It don't become a tool of manipulation by the colonial administration. We call on the people then for Bakundu for make sure say any impostor will be put in place by the colonial master, the need for push them outside and the need for reject them with all the power where they get them. For place them where La République if they don't succeed for put chief them where they don't get royal blood for their skin. Me that people they don't ever accept those chiefs them. And mean that time for we for review the type of people the way they don't manipulate our chief maker them, put them for power. For already examine them, what are these people then truly? Now the one the way they be supposed to carry out the jobs for their ancestors, for their village people them, for make sure that they keep the village in honor, and for make sure that the village chiefs and palaces then they for protect the people their interests, not before work for a foreign colonizer. Back for the fronts for the liberation war, the Ambazonian Defense Forces, our strategy for deploy our military behind enemy lines as they don't take measures, and for inside Bamenda within 2 weeks, we don't see breach those lines, carry out activity where it leads to the death of 5 La République du Cameroon terrorist officers. This it don't disrupt the enemy plan, and we get information and our analysis then for down it show say La République they don't begin abandon their post them where they be done put their police them for guide them as a front against Ambazonians liberation war. This post then be mounted by La République du Cameroon, the police. If on a day today for town, especially for the most populated city, the center of our resistance for Bamenda, when I go realize say La République, they don't begin remove their police them for plenty place them from Santa right to downtown Bamenda. Some they try for replace them with military men them, they don't get enough, we don't guarantee them, we don't show power, we don't put our uniform for inside town. Now for give them an indication, say they know will ever succeed for rule over Ambazonia, never again. We will never allow them to carry out roadblocks within Bamenda town and other cities across Ambazonia. the defeat of La République du Cameroon and the frustration of their military posture is inevitable, and it will continue. We will even get even better. Big blows will come to La République du Cameroon. One thing we assure them: everybody who put on the colonial military attire in our country will end up in body bag shipped to La République du Cameroon. We will come after them. They will have no time to sleep. We will have no sleepless nights plotting on how to eliminate these terrorist occupation forces in our land. Ambazonian freedom have no reverse gear. Ambazonia is here to stay. In other news for diplomacy, the Commonwealth, it then put out a very powerful research work concerning Ambazonia. The research article titled Cameroon's Anglophones Crisis and the Questions of the Right of Self-Determination. This one a big success for Ambazonia, as the right narrative about our struggle it can be asserted after 5 years of resistance and waging a brutal and strong war of liberation by Ambazonian brave heroes in all Ambazonian fighting forces. This article it be published yesterday for this month of November in the Commonwealth platform where they call them say the Round Table, a Commonwealth journal of international affairs. I go read the article for all our country people them, make them hear with very little or no translation. It talks say, under the auspices of the United Nations, the transition from colonialism to independence was carried out in accordance with the relevant rules of international law rooted in the right of self-determination. The exercise of the people's right to self-determination in the post-colonial Africa has mostly often taken the trajectory of armed conflicts rather than by treaty or diplomatic means. A quote they quoted from Professor Carson Anyangwe. And as I go to read and I go to go, most of the article they don't quote Ambazonians in way they don't advocate for self-determination for our country. This one will be amazing, a recognition of our advocacy and our fight for free our people. Let me continue for read. It says, Article 20, Sub 1 of the African Commission of Human and People's Rights in 2016 stated that, I quote, colonized or oppressed people shall have the right to free themselves from the bonds of domination by resorting to any means recognized by the international community, according to their quote is from Pangang of the Republic of Ambazonia, a quote he wrote an advocate for Ambazonian self-determination in 2021. The right for self-determination is a collective privilege that guarantees freedom to observe and practice a wide range of liberties. Further claims of the Southern Cameroon's right to determination have been based on the oppression and massive human rights violation, democratic deficits, and the political and economic discrimination and marginalization. These rest on the relationship between the right of self-determination and the respect of human rights, according to Bala Congo, cited of an article he wrote in 2015. The legal grounds for such arguments stems from the 1970 Declaration of Friendly Relations, which provides that all peoples have the right to freely determine without external interference their political status, to pursue their economic, social, and cultural development, and to every state has that duty to respect these rights in accordance with the provisions of the Charter. These declarations limit the sovereignty of states. As such, claims to the right to secession or external self-determination can be made on the basis of gross and systemic violation of the fundamental human rights of groups of people, and the fact that peaceful solution of the problem within the existing state structure is unlikely, a quote from Bala Congo of 2005. Kosovo secession from Serbia is a good example of a case where persistent violations of interstate autonomy agreement entered into with a minority group by the state led by the ruling in the ICJ in 2010 that unilateral declaration of independence of Kosovo was within the confines of the law. the Kosovo case can serve as a precedent for Southern Cameroon's claim for independence. Given the injustice outlined above, a sub-state entitled can unilaterally secede without the consent of the host state. However, symbolic proclamation of the independence of Ambazonia by Southern Cameroonian leaders in the 1st of October 2017 met with repression and gross violations of human rights of Southern Cameroonians by the government of Cameroon. While these attempts failed, it does not erase the fact that the right of remedial secession can still be realized in accordance with the remedial rights theory, which states that any group of people have the right to secede if they are subjected to severe injustice and if they feel that their existence is threatened. That was a quote from Bachelet in 1991. The case of the Southern Sudan's remedial secession is also an exemplary for Southern Cameroons. Dressus note that the country's independence symbolizes the emergence of a new human rights security-based approach to negotiating the extension between these principles and the opportunity this presents to the principal response to other claims of self-determination in the continent. The international laws plays a crucial role in the protection of states' territories. In 1970, Declaration of Friendly Relations gave precedence to the territorial integrity or political unity of sovereign and independent states conducting themselves in compliance with these principles of equal rights and self-determination of peoples. It also reiterated that any interruption of the territorial integrity of other states is not allowed. Both the United Nations Charter and the African Union Charter of 1963 specify that exercising the right of self-determination is subject to consideration of the territorial integrity of states and the principle of unto possidetis. This favoring internal self-determination, the Supreme Court of Canada ruling that Quebec was not entitled to exercise the right of unilateral secession, is a classic example of protection of territorial integrity and endorsement of internal self-determination. Going by the Quebec case and the fact that government of Cameroon is not willing to recognize the existence of the Ambazonian or Anglophone problem in Cameroon, the people of the Southern Cameroon claim for self-determination will continue to be examined. Now for the way, the end of the article EB, for all our country people, make them sabi, say the Ambazonian Governing Council approach for fight for our independence in Andigo now with the claim of our right of self-determination. For we would fight now for self-determination so that may the people them for Ambazonia determine their outcome or the political outlook of their territory as it be allowed under international law. Now they approach that way, they use them, and they approach that way the Ambazonian Governing Council be done adopt them for the cabinet as the policy for guide the strategies where it lead them for their activity for fight for our freedom. This article will be welcome, and this line of thought, the proper narrative, will be welcome, and we will continue to work hard for make sure that the international community know our story, what we are doing, and have the right solution. Without the right diagnosis, the solutions will always be wrong. This article, it mentioned, say the example for Quebec, it not be in line with the right of self-determination under international law as a right. It cite other example like Kosovo, say Ambazonia, if he unilaterally declare independence, then talk say even though the one way will be declared for 2000 by Seseko, it be failed for it be effectuated because of Cameroon brutality. Nevertheless, the Ambazonian right is within international law because the case of Kosovo it then set a proper precedent. He also cites the law them for African Union and the United Nations Charter. Also, it then guarantees La République du Cameroon they no fit take away our right for self-determination. So it push the case the people for Ambazonia then get a legal right and access to exercise that right when human right violation then plenty the way we done there for inside Ambazonia. this type of article, it inform leaders them, opinions them, for people them where they live for the Commonwealth, where they be very powerful, especially in our case. The fact that they put out this type of article them for this big platform will be very famous for shape diplomatic phalanx and the opinions for the war. It be a highly welcome and a big diplomatic victory in the corridors where Ambazonia they push their diplomacy. Nevertheless, our people they need for no say the success will they get them for diplomacy. It be directly linked for the fact that we resist for ground with all of our population, that they uphold ghost town, that they respect the guidelines and way Ambazonian leaders that they put them, and our soldier them be able to put the pressure for push La Republic out of Ambazonia. And we need to be very responsible in our act of self-defense as the War Council for the ADF. It the push for the proportional use of force, the respect of human rights with our charter, for make sure say we attract the right attention from the international community. We still continue for appeal for all force them for ground where they don't be dispersed, they don't be separated, for make sure that they be aligned with nationalist movement, where it could be very helpful for them for conduct themselves well, for supervise them and provide a proper command and control structure with discipline that are in line with international expectation of our territories. Make all money continue for hold the struggle strong and for resist La Republic to Cameroon, so that we could give for the next generation a future where it could be better than the one we would see under oppression. Capo Daniel, signing off.